where you didn't need to be visually on the screen until just today. And it's been a while since I've done one of these vertical streams or phone streams. This won't be that long. I just have insomnia. I need to be asleep. I got to get up. My schedule sucks so bad, and it's fucking me up. My work schedule and so my sleep schedule is jacked, and I don't know what the fuck to do. But I'm up, so here I am. Here I am again on my own, I guess. So I don't expect to get too many people in here. It's 4:30 in the morning, maybe 5. That's Central Time, so that means it's 5:30 going on 6 in the East Coast and everything else in this corresponding time zone. We will see who has insomnia. Oh, Retro Richard also has insomnia. Hey, man, appreciate you being here. I would have messaged you on the gram when he was up. Um, but I appreciate you being here. Dude finally replied, oh, cool, 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 cool. You said the dude from, his name Chuck Patton. Okay. He had worked on a bunch of DC stuff. Shit, maybe now is the time to, one thing I did here, I meant to tell you, just over the past few years, DC and Warner Brothers had laid off a lot of people. But, I mean, all these entertainment companies laying off people because they fuck it up. They fucking up the bag. So that's just how that goes. See, I didn't know you could stream like this. Great Vibe and Jinx, okay. Cool, cool. I'm glad you got somebody in contact. Somebody's got to read your stuff, man. It don't make no sense for them to be hiring the people they hire, and you got like a whole anthology and all the stuff you can do with their characters. It's just like, man, somebody there needs to at least give you some fucking feedback. Like at this point, you got thousands of ratings on your Wattpad. It's like, okay, you've been doing this for long enough to. I know it's gonna be like a year or two, but still, you a fan of Vibe? But they used Vibe for that what you call it, didn't they? The Flash show. Which I speaking of, I heard the Flash. Grant Gustin is going to be back in the new DCU. We'll see how that works. Which I guess with Flash, if any character you could do that with because he goes through parallel universes, he goes through different timelines, so it's not a big deal for you to use the same actor, right? But hell, they already had the Flash meet the Flash. They already had Grant Gustin meet Ezra Miller, so it's like it's no big deal to put him in this universe. Some Teen Titans, Jazz. But yeah, you done wrote so much for so much. It's like, man, they deserve like your shit deserve to be read by somebody at DC who made decisions. I'll say that. Shout out to whoever was here. Just an insomnia stream, me talking shit. Uh, but yeah, if it's just Richard, if it's just you, then I'll just talk to you, man. That's cool. Everyone at this point, they're gonna put everyone in that every day I see someone. I want to be this character in DCU. I said, okay. He did work with JSA Teen Titans. Might as well see, yeah, sit in what he was a part of. And just see what feedback he give you. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can give you some feedback, some valuable feedback. And it's like, man, hey, William Palmer, appreciate you being here. It's one of my first streams where it's just the logo. I didn't know you could do that. You just turn off the video. There's a lot of times I'll stream with my mask. I just have insomnia. Here we are. No subject talking about. Just chilling and vibing on this Saturday evening or Saturday night going to Sunday morning. Responsible JSA Detroit. Hey, hey. Shout out to JSA Detroit. Shout out to Detroit, hometown. Hopefully you do good against the Bears today. And hopefully Houston, where I'm staying, does good against was it Monday? They go against Tampa Bay. That's gonna be tough for the sports fans. Also, I did not make a Canelo video. I kept saying I was gonna make a video on Canelo and Crawford. I didn't make one beforehand. Didn't make one after. But I did see Crawford. I saw the whole fight though. Crawford really dominated Canelo. Canelo had a plan to go. Question just posted a guy comment. Hope Jake's good. Moving your character. That's crazy. Type shit. Type shit. Fair enough. Uh, typing shit. Type shit. Um, but what was it? The Canelo, man, I'm glad I had money on that fight. I picked Crawford, but only tacitly because I didn't know how he was going to deal with the power. He was able to deal with the power, and that was pretty much it. The first few rounds, Canelo was going to his body, but after those few rounds, he started to just take too much damage. And honestly, your shout out to Matthew McKay. Hey Matthew, appreciate you being here. No, I didn't bet on it, and I did. I'm glad I did. This is why I don't bet. Like I would have been smooth if I would have picked Crawford, but I felt nervous because part of me really wanted to pick Canelo. Hi, Wild Fruit Reviews. Appreciate you saying hi. I really wanted to pick Canelo just because of the size difference. But when they on fight day, it wasn't that big of a size difference. And it just showed, you know what, everybody, I mean, even though Canelo is technically younger, he has way more fights than Crawford. Because he started so young and he's just getting older. At the beginning of the fight, he was moving so much better, but as the fight went on, you thought both were going to the hospital. They were hitting each other hard. It's like it ain't like Crawford didn't eat some blows. He ate some blows. Thought they was gonna go to the hospital. They were beating the hell out of each other. Yeah, especially like it was the knife where they just started throwing bombs at each other. Uh, but it's like Canelo just really. I think this. You know, as much as it was made about the size difference, we didn't think about the opposite advantage was speed and stamina because about the fifth, sixth, Canelo started to get kind of gassed. Now he got, like I said, he got a little more energy a little bit later, but he started to get gassed. Yeah, this is why I don't bet. A lot of people lost money on Canelo, and if I'd have bet Crawford, I feel like Crawford would have lost. But I mean, it was a very good fight. You know, if you're a boxing fan, you're not gonna get too many good fights like this between superstar fighters, which is an issue. Which is why these fights are so hard to fucking pick because nobody fights. And they only fight once a year, and Canelo hadn't really been fighting nobody, but really Crawford hadn't been fighting nobody either. I mean, he fought Madrimov last year. And another thing with Crawford is he fights different people. Like he went harder with Canelo than he did with Madrimov. He went way hard because when he fought Madrimov, he wouldn't put the same type of effort he put in this fight he just fought against Canelo. He went crazy. He gave it all. I mean, I feel like Canelo gave his all too. He just started taking too much damage, and that was just it. Man, I don't want to see Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney. I'm done with that whole. I'm done with that whole crash out. And really, this generation of boxing, I mean, we just gonna look back and we gonna say, Terrence Crawford was dope, Usyk was dope. Everything else was kind of a circus. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia is a circus. Devin Haney's a circus. Tate is a circus. He fight Logan Paul. This generation of boxing is just everything's about clout. Even this fight to some extent, at least they were two championship level boxers, but uh, this is a fight that was made just because of the fan bases, and like Rhea Ripley's a little more. Yeah, just keep doing the same thing. Well, we're done with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. I don't think Devin Haney should even box anymore. I don't really think either should box anymore. I'm really done with both of them. I know they both younger than 30, so that sounds crazy to say. But I'm just so them, Shakur and Tank. I just feel like it's just a lost generation of guys that we thought was going to be dope, but just kind of just became social media fighters. I don't feel they that different to Jake Paul, and to the point where Tank is fighting Jake Paul. So it's like, okay, man. And that's funny. They had Jake. It was weird how they kept having celebrities stand up when they talked about him on broadcast. When they did Jake Paul, he stood up and looked, and the crowd booed. It was like a fucking wrestling moment. Like, what the fuck is this? Hey, Scott Magical. Take man, 6 feet. Yeah, height doesn't matter. Skill matters. I guess now we're talking about the boxing match between Canelo and Crawford. Uh, but and we talk about other boxing stuff. Just this ain't no hardcore boxing channel. We don't even talk boxing. We just talk about anything, right? Yeah, on this channel, which is the gift and the curse. Talking about just anything. But yeah, height doesn't matter. It's all about skill. All about skill. They still hate Jake Paul for something he did as a 10 years. But James Gunn gets a pass? Question mark. Good point. It's people. Well, if we don't learn nothing from nothing, is people are selective. People select when they want to get outraged, select who they want to get mad at, select when they want to get mad. Yeah, you're right. James Gunn was like in his 40s talking crazy shit on Twitter about the youth. Jake Paul, what he did in Japan, which was messed up, but it's also kind of messed up. There is a suicide forest. Like, I'm not saying he should have showed that on camera or whatever, or you shouldn't be mad about Jake Paul. It is weird that he's taking that moment, and because that's when I first heard about Jake Paul. Because this goes to anything with the internet, and I don't think people realize this because people live inside their niche. And so they'll get on the internet, watch the same things every day, and they think people are bigger and more famous than what they are. I had never heard of Jake Paul until he did that thing in Japan, and I don't think most people had. And then that was kind of his taking off moment. Uh, but he and Harry had obviously a big following before then, but I didn't know who he was. I didn't know. I think he had a connection to Disney as well. Uh, and now he did the boxing thing. He's done the wrestling thing. Him and Logan Paul, and now they both kind of known as the Paul brothers. Then they got the podcast. Yeah, I never heard about him until you said heard other kids when you were little. I see. That makes me feel old because I was a grown ass man when they came out. Uh, but I didn't ever heard of him until that little Japan thing. That's sometimes it's like I would talk about the other situation, but guy passed, rest in peace. But it's like, man, did not know who he was. I knew of him, but it's not like uh stopping the Dominican kids in the hood and know him. I think we're just in the world. We don't have Michael Jacksons anymore. We don't have people that everybody know. There's just not people that everybody who know who they are anymore. But if you don't realize that, you go so hard in your niche, then you go outside your world. Most people don't know 'em. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know 'em. I'm a big hip hop fan. I know who Griselda, the label is, the group is. I know who Benny the Butcher is. I know who uh West Side Gun and Conway the Machine, 38 Special, some of those guys are. Uh but Bodie James. I know who these people are, but there are millions of people who don't know who the fuck they are. You know what I'm saying? Just like I knew who MF Doom was back in the day before everybody did. Now people may just know him because he died. Because unfortunately, that's the weird culture in America. You know, by somebody kills you. But that's just the world we live in now. You don't have Michael Jacksons. You don't have Beatles. You don't have Whitney Houston's. You don't have even Madonna's. I wasn't a big fan, but everyone knew who Madonna was. You don't have these mega celebrities who everybody knows. One of the reasons, we don't have, you know, you look at entertainment for what 50 years. You had 3 stations, 4 stations, max. No internet, radio. Just the radio. Now radio was independent, so you might get more music. You ironically got more music, but you only had like 3 or 4 networks. Not everybody had cable. Cable didn't come out to what the 80s, and didn't really get more used to the 90s, 2000s because it was so expensive. How they got, yeah, crazy scheme, how they got away with it. Because she really couldn't sing. And her songs, I mean, she had, I guess, that damn song they keep using for Deadpool, they remixed and remade is okay, I guess. But I wasn't a big fan of her music. Like, granted, a lot of her music is still, I'm old, but I ain't that old. That was, all that 80s shit was really before my time. I was born in 87, so I'm not really up and about till the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I don't remember what the fuck happened when I was 2, 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? But they pushed the sex sales thing, and they were able to push her into that super fame. But like, don't like Sabrina Carpenter's not as famous as Madonna was in the 90s, in the 80s, and 2000s. No disrespect, she got her little niche now, and her little fans like it, and that's good. I'm glad they happy. 80s didn't really end to 94. That's true. Just like the tens didn't really end until like last year. We just now started the 2020s for real. Hi, Gregory Oscaro or Orosco. Hi. But I mean, there was nothing because the 80s. Listen, despite how they try to act like shit was all rebellious, 60s, 70s, 80s, comparatively, the 10s and the was 2020. Well, see, you know what I will say. In some ways, you're right, but it was like that 2020. Like, it doesn't feel the same as 2020 anymore. You're kind of right because there's a lot of stuff that just ended right at that 2020 mark. But then 2020 to 2022, 23 is his own world. It was like an alternate universe. And 23 was kind of recovering from that. So 24 is the first regular year. So really, it's like you have the 10s, then you have the pandemic era, and now the 20. It's still just, I still feel like the 2020s just started. Like the 2020 era, the pandemic era is its own thing. So maybe that's more of a thing. You felt an immediate change. Well, because remember, beginning of the year, before even COVID happened, you had Kobe died. When he died? In January? Tumblr became real life. Yeah. Nobody expected that one. I mean, just the idea of pronouns. I remember hearing about that shit vaguely and just didn't think nothing of it. Like, what? This is, what? Okay, whatever. And before you knew it, that was like a real thing. You say even without Kobe and COVID? I see. Just happened randomly. To me, it didn't feel different. It wasn't until Kobe died. Like, damn, that's weird. Then the COVID thing happened. Like, damn, that's weird. But I was still just rolling along. I guess because of work. I was still going to work. Thank God. I said one thing. Since COVID, I've been working from home. Except for, I did have one job. I had to go to the office for a little bit. But I've been working from home now. Obviously, that didn't help my health. But help my sanity. I do not like working with people. People hard enough to work with digitally. Shit. Everyone just came weird as heck. Yeah, the pandemic. I'm still. I think a lot of people still recovering from it, and I might be too to some extent, man. Like I said, I still work from home. I still stay in the house quite a bit. Am I the only one that doesn't see there's something in the water? Well, I mean, there's definitely something in the water, man. There's definitely something in the air. Uh, we now. I think there is still, if there is a post 2020 post pandemic effect, and I'm listening, the internet's been important since the fucking late 90s, right? But the the internet as gospel era. Hey Oreo, First Blood, appreciate you being here. But that's from 2020 or shit. And yes, the internet was important in the tens. Yes, social media was important in the tens. And yes, people who were struggling with the separation, parasocial relationships. All this stuff was a struggle in the tens. I'm not saying it was not a struggle in the tens. I'm not saying it was obviously more of a struggle in the tens than it was ever before history because of the way technology works. I understand all that. But something about the 2020s ratcheted up. It ratcheted up disturbing connections with and disturbing parasocial connections became normalized instead of being something that was creepy, which it still is, and rare, which I mean it probably still is relatively, but on some level, people all got creepy parasocial relationships. Hell, I started a channel, and I'm still doing this channel based upon 2020. That's why I started. And we turned back time December 19th. No COVID, no COVID, no memory. They did push a lot of agendas all at once. That I'll admit. They pushed a lot of shit. They overblow I don't know if that's the right word, but they overwhelmed the average person with agendas. 6 years see something up. They pushed a lot of major agendas. The LGBTQ, the divisive by race, the man versus women, white versus black, red versus blue. All they pushed those things all hard, all at once. everything all at once while all the shit was going on, while people were locked down, while people only use their phones and the internet as a way of interacting. So they're pushing all this division all at once. And they're still pushing it, obviously, to this day. But they were able to hit on it because everybody was on the internet at once. And now, oh, yeah, you're not wrong, Oreo. It started 01, 9/11, we just had the anniversary recently, a few days ago. Patriot, the cell phones came out, absolute observation capability. Oh, yeah, that was the preface for it. 9/11, once they were able to do the Patriot Act, and Eric Snowden told us all this. This isn't a conspiracy theory at all. This is confirmed stuff. Once they had the Patriot Act, they had the rights to surveil everybody, and they basically used, you know, things like Facebook, Twitter, are alleged to have had FBI and CIA ties from the jump, and I don't think anybody would dispute that. And even if they did, we all know that all these platforms deliver information straight to the government and governments. I mean, shit, that was the whole big thing with TikTok, right? Because it goes to the Chinese government. But all this information, and they got now we tell the CIA and the FBI and the feds what to do, how to brainwash us. Basically, we tell them how to brainwash us. And they just that's all they do is give us what we tell them to, and we go get brainwashed and just do what they tell us to do. Get mad when they tell us to get mad. Get sad when they tell us to get sad. You know what I'm saying? We have taught them how to brainwash us, and then we just follow the brainwashing that they provide at this point. And so yeah, the COVID, that allowed them to just spam agenda, spam stuff. They spam so many agendas that they made anti-agenda its own agenda, right? They spam LGBTQ and woke, quote unquote, woke material so much they can make anti-woke a thing. And now they got you in that box. So I mean they went crazy in the COVID era. Give the Master Circuit and Drake, and they'll never revoke Brandon Circus, and they won't. They won't. That's what I keep saying. Oh, it's a civil war, bro. Anytime there's been an incident, it's been a fed. We don't do shit. Normal people just sit at home, look on their phone, and then decide how to and get told how to think. They're not actually getting active in any meaningful way. Not in America. I mean, I can't speak for other countries, but in the U.S. of A. and in most of the Western world, people don't get active at any of this shit. Rather it was the unfortunate incident that happened with the Kirk dude. That wasn't no fuck. That was a Fed. You know what I'm saying? Or all these other incidents. There was an incident with some of they keep bringing up all these different right and left with the Pelosi's. I think they motherfucker hit him with a hammer. That's probably a Fed. You know what I'm saying? uh Shit, we got bill. Everybody got bills to pay. So who the fuck is gonna really look at the details of a lot of this shit? And that's nothing. Everybody doesn't get into everything, right? Some people have taken up everything, but okay, and that's how they really get you. Like you be saying, you be on DC Online, and they talking about Trump. It's like, well, damn, I'm not even trying to live for politics. I'm not even trying to live for politics. I'm just trying to play a fucking 15-year-old or whatever old DC Online is game, and politics spam over. You know what I'm saying? That they make the shit seem unescapable. Like you're not even trying to look for it. So yeah, the agenda pushing of the 2020s is definitely a thing. Yeah, her bills to pay, right? Like I got bills to pay too. I got bills to pay. I got shit to focus on. I can't let the internet. Smart brother or sister, or I don't know what other phrase they have for brothers and sisters, sibling. Never vote, never will. It's a waste of time. You do more vote. You want to vote? Vote with your wallet into the best of your ability, brother. Okay. Vote with your wallet to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? That's the best way to vote. That's the best way to do something. I know, we all, as much as some people are better at avoiding the corpos as you can. If you could, I wish I didn't buy nothing from Walmart or Amazon. If you could eliminate one of them, you're doing yourself a huge service, right? But I know we human and shit. Sometimes they got the cheapest shit, so you gotta live. But I'll say this: when it comes to entertainment, at least you can vote with your dollar. If you mad because these game companies not doing what you want, don't buy the fucking games. You know what I'm saying? You don't like the movie, don't go see the movie. Don't buy the streaming service. I'm pissed off at what they do with sports with all these damn streaming services. I still watch it, but I'm not about to pay them money. So I just even that fight. I'm not about to pay for no pay per view. See chicks with kids in 2019. By March 2020, there was the Rainbow Game. That's weird. That's weird. And yeah, Batwoman got a whole extra season because I hate watching. Because they hate watched it and it was the number one show on CW. And they gave it a second season just because people were hate watching it because it was woke. And the content creators didn't even realize they're the ones who kept it up. Yeah, $40 a month. Get fun. Do you know how much YouTube TV is? Like $80 a month. And then you gotta buy that. Plus what you call it? Oh, you're a wrestling guy? Oh man. you know, shit, that's why people pirated that. Even Stephanie McMahon, speaking of wrestling, she said, go ahead, use a VPN and do what you do. Chicks was in the rainbow game letting you hit. That's crazy. Tuba hamburger meat. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, use your shit. I don't give a fuck what it is. Like if they go, they not being fair, man. We used to pay. You talking about wrestling? We used to pay $50 for a pay per view back in the day. You used to get a dope pay per view though. It's facts too. Yeah, it is facts. You used to get something dope, and now now they want you to pay all these different things for the streaming service, pay all this shit to go to the actual shows. It seems like everybody signed a damn deal with ESPN or Netflix or Peacock or one of these companies. It's like, man, I can't pay $50 to ESPN or whatever it is, $40 to ESPN, $20 to Peacock, $20 to Netflix, $20 to this, $50 for this, just to see everything. And yeah, then if just to see a PLE on wrestling, it is Ivy Down and Lion Valkyria. It's like fuck this. Just I don't pay, if you're a fan of wrestling or any sport, and they all just like wrestling because they all sports entertainment. Don't believe me? Look it up. The NFL sports entertainment. Yeah, the PLE only have 5 matches. What the fuck? That was cool when he was doing that with back in the day when what the fuck was it with NXT Black and Gold? But that's when you had 5 of like the dopest matches. And it wasn't no big deal. But yeah, everyone get 25 minutes. Everybody not supposed to be in 25-minute matches. You really need to go back to 8 matches. Some get 10, some get 15, some get 5. And then your main event. Maybe you have, a couple main event level matches. They get maybe 18 to 20 minutes. I haven't seen a squash match since Triple H took it over either. What happened to squash matches? And I get some people nowadays don't like squash matches, but squash matches to me, are important to build up strong character. You know what I mean? Not everything is we want to see a lot of kicks and flips and cool matches. And listen, I like cool matches too, but we got to see. One, you only have 2 or 3 hours for everybody to get over, and you need to focus on. And yeah, they hit you off guard. That's another thing. I remember the last real squash match I remember, like being a big match, was Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, where Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar real fast. People was mad, but it was like, whoa, nobody expected that shit. And then when they did another match, everybody watched. And that shit was still short, but it was cold. It was like, it's unexpected. We don't know what the fuck is going to happen. The wrestler has forgot all about that. Like, that's part of the draw. Is like, yeah, it's predetermined, but I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Oh, yeah, I'm kissing and shit and getting knocked out. People got real mad at that. Was it with AJ Lee at the time? I forgot who he's with. Yeah, Sheamus. He bro kicked him. Now now people look at it. People got mad, became Daniel Bryan fans. But I remember that shit. But like you said, it caught you off guard. That was a world championship match. Yep, he was with AJ Lee, and now she back and she, obviously legit married the Punk. That's crazy. But that was a huge, you know what I mean? It was like, whoa, that was a world title. Nobody expected that shit. And then it did start the Yes movement. So, all in all, it was people get mad at the decision, but all in all, it was a net win for the show. It was a fucking surprise. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected it. Long term, it ended up helping Daniel Bryan's career more than it hurt. So, all in all, you look back, and that's just looked at this bad decision, but it's like, it actually was a good decision for that to be a squash. It helped everybody out. Because, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we just want a fucking show. If you give us a good show, a squash match ain't gonna hurt. And yeah, shout out to Rhea Ripley, man, but like, the whole gimmick is her ass cheeks. I don't give a fuck if nobody tell me. Like, she be posting crazy shit on Instagram. I mean, shout out to Buddy Murphy or Matthews, whatever his name is. Congratulations to be married. And I get it's a business, but man, I would, and maybe I'm just an insecure asshole. I don't know. I would feel some type of way about some of the stuff she posts. I feel like, damn, this is my wife who posted her ass cheeks on Instagram. What the fuck? I would really feel some type of way, even though it's obviously the smart thing to do because that's what keeps her fans, her thirsty ass uh, fans. That's what keep them riled up. That's what keep them buying merch. You said they're gonna do Raquel and Roxanne versus Rhea and Liv. Yeah, they probably are gonna do that. Have Rhea and Liv on the same team. Long term, they are gonna do that. One thing, it seems like Rhea or Liv is always hurt. That's part of the reason they feud lasted fucking forever, because they never healthy at the same time. Almost never. I do Bam Bam. Hey, tremendous TA. Is Bam Bam still alive? I do not know. I think him and Vader. It was the other dude who was big. He used to do movie songs. I think they both died. Rest in peace. Because they the only women who wrestled that too. Yeah. They don't really, except, but yeah, Bam Bam. Shout out to Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah, they used to have him and Vader would be big as fuck doing moonsaults off the top. They was both not only over 300, they was over both almost 4 hitting moonsaults. Then you also had Hugh Morris was another big dude who hit moonsault. Yeah, they do keep firing the women's roster. But well, they got to make a decision what they want to do with women's wrestling because like there are some good wrestlers. Bam Bam was a major pain. They used to put Bam Bam in movies and shit like that. And it's like, now we going the Yeti. I ain't heard the Yeti in forever. I was just about to say we going back to where they started to put more wrestlers in movies. Like Cody Rhodes was in that stupid Naked Gun movie. Now he gonna be. It's like a few people gonna be in what's called Street Fighter. Technically, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch were supposed to be in Captain America, but they reshot it and took them out. Shout out to the Yeti. Shout out to the Yeti. Shout out to some of the old school wrestling motherfuckers. The Yeti. What was he? WCW? WAP. Big Rod Stud. I remember Big Rod Stud. Yo, nothing's really happened with that story. Oh, what's up? I thought you was on some Cardi B thing. Shout out to Cardi B selling her CDs in the middle of the streets and shit. But appreciate you being here, Mr. Cleanance, Tremendous TA, Oreo First Blood. Just an insomnia stream. I guess now we talking about wrestling. I'm still a fan. I don't watch every week though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even really watching highlights right now. Cena I think Cena and Cody are technically both baby faces because Cena just turned baby face again. Which what a wasted heel turn that was. They did that just a shot. But yeah, it was WCW. Okay, I thought so. I miss WCW, man. I wish there was a way for both companies to continue. The rest of, I mean, yeah, we got AEW now, and they cool. And I'm trying to force myself to watch more of that, but I keep forgetting each week. Like I said, I ain't watching WWE either, but it's like, man, WCW was such a, yeah, I miss the Monday Night Wars. It was such a cool product, and it were both different products, and they both were just fun. It was fun seeing them both on the same night and seeing all the different storylines. It was on Monday. It was on like both Monday Night Raw, Monday Nitro. Now they did have extra shows because you had Saturday night for WCW, and then sometimes you had other like Shotgun Saturday Night and all these other shows. And then eventually you had SmackDown and Thunder. That's toward the end. It said hopefully New Japan, late '90s already, 2000s was such a time to be. Yeah, man, the media that we got, we got spoiled. We got spoiled with entertainment. Saturday, yeah, Velocity. That's another show. We absolutely got spoiled. Jericho was in a C Gore movie. I did not know that. I know he was in shit. Some movie was he in like a few years ago, like Jay and Silent Bob or some dumb shit. Hopefully, New Japan don't go out of business. Hopefully, Sunday Night Heat. New Japan should still be around. I mean, shit. They SmackDown was Thursday. Yep, SmackDown was on a Thursday. And they did SmackDown on WWF around not WWE, it was WWF for the on his. And then WCW had Thunder. I'm trying to think. WCW has Saturday night though, and then sometimes they would play on Saturday mornings too. They had a syndication show that would just show a few matches. I was a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. It was something, but it would be on regular TV. Yeah, normal TV with the antenna. Same. That was a big deal with SmackDown because everything was on cable. That was the normal TV. But there's a few. They had some. I think even WWE have a syndicated show too, where they would play it on. I do remember that they had a Saturday morning. They had what was the shit? Saturday Morning Slam in the 2000s, something like that. Something like that. But I think in the '90s that they both had syndicated random ass like if you catch them, you can catch them type shows. I couldn't tell you what they was called. I would have to Google it, but you can't Google it. Keep the stream going. Uh, which thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, Romeo First Blood and Tremendous TA and obviously Richard. You always hear. Shout out to wrestler. You know what I mean? Yeah, before there was the rap group, there was NWA Wrestling. Used to watch Memphis growing up. Undertaker was on Heat Wave once. They had a few shits. Heat Wave the show. But yeah, you had Memphis, you had they said the whole NWA wrestling, the Jim Crockett and Mid Atlantic, uh, Memphis wrestling, World Class, WCCW. That's all the old AWA, which they used to play the AWA on ESPN, which is crazy to think of, or ESPN two. But I mean the brand, brands wasn't so precious back then. So yeah, they would just play like Nick Bockwinkel and all the motherfuckers on ESPN. Believe it or not, you see, you're gonna be NWA. So yeah, Richard is training to be a wrestler, and the NWA is still around. What's his name? Owns it. Speaking of music, Smashing Pumpkins. The guy Billy Corgan. He owns the NWA right now. Which was it during the? No, it was right before the pandemic. NWA Power, bro. That was a cold. I didn't watch the whole series, but the first season of that shit was cold. Was never hot on WCW bandwagon. A few times I didn't watch. I understand why Sting was in the rafters not saying anything. So that whole storyline was it starts with the NWO. They had the infamous match. Who is it? Which Sting could have been the third guy, but it was Macho Man, Sting. I can't even remember who else was in the match. But infamously, Hulk Hogan comes out and he helps the NWO. He's the third man, and he turns bad. But everybody thought Sting was going to turn on WCW. So he didn't join WCW or the NWO. He was his own dude. And that's why he got all dark. And, he went from the sunny baby face, the surfer thing, as sometimes they call it, to this dark, quote unquote, crow thing because they didn't trust him. And he ended up getting fucked up anyway. Was it Lex Luger the third? I can't remember. I gotta look Google who was in that infamous match. Bash of the Beach 96. But the NWO form, obviously, Hollywood, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and then they, start getting people. Ironically enough, one of the first people they ended up getting was Macho Man, just a few months later. And they start, it almost like they was another thing that was kind of dark about the NWO, they kind of take it away. But people were getting jumped in like a real gang. That's why you notice guys like Macho Man ended up with them quick. And Eric Bischoff, who was supposed to be the WCW commentator, he got power bombed off the stage, and all of a sudden he was the NWO guy. But they were getting jumped in, like initiation. They forget when they retell it. They forget that part that people were getting jumped into the NWO. That's like dark as fuck. Like they were really selling you. It's like the NWO was a real game. They were really selling you like the NWO was a real game. That's why they would like sometimes people would call the police or the TV because they would have them. They would try to cut it like they sold it like they weren't supposed to be there. They kept making it seem like they were not supposed to be there and what they were doing was real. So especially when fucking Kevin Nash threw poor Rey Mysterio into the motherfucking that metal door, motherfuckers called the police. They're like, oh man, these motherfuckers are going to their show assaulting it. They literally had to, it got to the point where they literally had to say they did not work for WF. They did not work for WWF. They literally had to tell everybody this on national TV. People really thought they was for WWF. They really thought it was some real violence, real gang shit. Crazy. Yeah, they didn't let too many people get in. That and yeah, I remember Stone Cold had the blonde hair and him and what you call it? I'm sitting there doing the motion like y'all can see. Him and oh my god, Brian Pillman. They were the Hollywood Blondes, and they would act like they had the old style cameras when you had to spin it, and they would shoot the movie. Every time they did something cool, they were the Hollywood Blondes. They was a cool tag team. How tall? Vincent was pretty tall. I mean, obviously he was big as fuck, like 500-600 pounds. The fuck is this? I don't know. So a guy with insomnia streaming with his logo talking about wrestling. That's what it is, Mushroom Guy. Appreciate you being here though. 6'2". Shout out to Viscera. I was watching the highlight. When he was Mabel, apparently he didn't know what he was doing, but he was when he was Viscera, he splashed Mae Young, and Mae Young crazy ass. She was 100 years old. I don't know how you didn't kill him, but he it was professional smash. At times he looked taller than Taker. He looked huge because he was just so big. He was so fucking big. He was able to smash Mae Young without killing her. So ironically enough, he professional, but he did Brown. Just about to say that he broke to Undertaker's orbital bone. He broke to Undertaker's orbital bone because he didn't know what he was. He didn't know how to control his weight back then. Have you heard the good news? What good news? Shout out to Rick Rude. I know Retro Richard's a huge Rick Rude fan. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ted DiBiase, Sting. He made he made him part of the ministry, so he didn't want to work with him. That's crazy. Oh, you know what? That was positive. Thank you for that. Yeah, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ did die for our sins. That was positive, mushroom guy. You never know if somebody on the internet's going to play with you. Appreciate some positivity. Shout out to Jesus. So, I mean that seriously. I truly do believe in Jesus. So like that's not something I play with. I'm not a perfect person. Obviously, I'm cursing. I need to get better. But something that man, that's something out of society that I wish was still there. That's one thing that's missing from society is that grit. Because now we so immoral now, man. We don't have no morality to us. There was a real like most people believed in God era, and that era is gone. Who we going after? We ain't really going after. We really just right now we just talking about old wrestling right now. I don't really care. I really don't care. But mushroom guy is positive. Want to get saw stuck in your head? I'm scared you. What's going? Goofy goober. You talking about goofy goobers? Mordecai. Yo, Mordecai had a cool gimmick. And he's one of those guys they wanted to fight with the Undertaker. And they had this whole I mean they put a lot into Mordecai for him to just flop immediately. I do remember Mordecai. They had this whole different gimmick and he was had the white on and stuff like that. Godfather, that's a hot take. Godfather should have been WWE champion. I can't really see any time when they made him the IC champion. Ironically, the only time he probably would have been champion was when he was Papa Shango. Oh man, Muhammad Hassan's another one. Yeah, you know what? We do gotta love one another and love God. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's something I think the world is missing. Is just that basic love and respect for one another, that basic connection. I mean, it's come to a point where you say, you believe in Jesus, it's almost like some underground stuff. Like, oh wow, you believe in Jesus? Oh wow. Man, me too. You get shot when you meet somebody when it used to just be normal. For a week. Man, Muhammad Hassan. That's one of the first times that WWE cracked under pressure for a character. That's one of the first times where they said where a character got so controversial, WWE was like, "No, we're not gonna do this anymore." And Muhammad Hassan was, he definitely should have been champion. I mean, if they had made him champion and push him, like I remember that Royal Rumble where he was just so hated, even heels and faces were teaming up just to fight him. I mean, they really, yeah. Wow, you believe in Jesus and not political parties? Holy smokes! You believe in you worship Jesus and not influencer on Instagram? Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I didn't know people could do that. Yeah, it's not Jesus in this world. He will deny you the day of judgment. Facts. But yeah, it's become rare. You don't worship celebrities. You worship Jesus Christ instead. What? That's some old school stuff. That's from the 80s and the 90s. Like, they still did that. And that's crazy. And I think that's something missing from the world. As the subject just keep changing, we keep evolving. And I'm not listening. I get everybody got their own religion. I'm not trying to be disparaging towards your religion. If it's different, that's fine. You know what I mean? We try to be positive. That's one thing. The world needs more positivity. We lost our baseline positivity. We lost our baseline morality, and now nobody has any hope. Everybody, and I get it, man. This is a messed up economic time, and but at the same time, we all woke up today. That's a blessing, and a lot of us do have a means to take care of ourselves. That's a blessing. I feel for you if you're looking for a job. I pray that you'll be able to find some. I remember looking for a job in '08, last economic crisis we had. And I do consider this have been. I think the past 5 years have been an economic crisis, right? Ups and downs, but especially now we're definitely in one. And I know it's tough, man. Prayers for everybody. Prayers for everybody. Yeah, that's a good point, Oreo. Don't trust government. Govern is to control, admit, is mind and land. Absolutely. And that's what they aim to do is control your mind. Shout out to Reverend Devon. Obviously, that's how we got Batista. Yeah, he ended up being a real reverend afterwards. He turned into a real reverend after the fact. Eat grass, smoke ass, fire fast. But yeah, man, we done lost. Yeah, you can't trust government. It's crazy. It's scary how quick people are to trust either the government or the political process or the politics. They're just so quick to run to one side or another. I think I think part of the reason is because people don't believe in God anymore, and they don't. They need to worship something else, and so they end up worshiping politics. I get the tables, Devon, get the tables. Wrestler dies every 3 weeks. It was like that. Tremendous TA. Luckily, I don't think it's as bad. Hey, El Gordo, appreciate you being here. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh. But no, it's not. I don't think it's as that bad. Even though I say that, Hogan technically did die like a few weeks ago, did he, or a month ago? But I remember there was an era. Like that's when Test and Viscera and some of these people we talked about died. Like Test died. And when Test died, like I didn't. It was just so many people dying like every freaking week. I would say from '05 to 2012, it was like somebody dying every week. It was pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. So it did feel like that. There's so many different wrestlers that passed, like from Elizabeth to, like I said, a Test or a Viscera or Crash Holly. It was like all these different wrestlers died. I remember seeing some with Mark Barrow. He was saying, like, man, could you imagine if this happened in the NBA or the NFL? Do you know how many people I knew personally died? It was like tens and tens of people. All the wrestlers all died. I will give the new era credit because, back then they were on steroids plus painkillers plus recreational drugs. So they were just, you know, the equivalent of using Monster Energy ice drinks and then pouring Red Bull on top of it to drink that every day. That's basically what they were doing to their heart. But probably worse than that, all the chemicals I just said. So, that's why even, years after they stopped, so many of them passed. Why, Ultimate Warrior passed. Same thing. It's a miracle that Hulk Hogan was able to live this long. It's a miracle that Ric Flair was able to live this long. Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, I remember the second test run. Even I was just moved out of your mom's. Congrats. Pretty dope. Oh, my favorite dinosaur mushroom guy. I guess a velociraptor. My favorite dinosaur? The dinosaur that was on the logo of the Toronto Raptors that was hooping. So him because he could play basketball. Yeah, I remember Tess did come back roided for that like mid late 2000s ECW run. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero. I remember Eddie Guerrero got caught with steroids the year before he died. That's crazy. Yeah, they always just want to blame. They always blame the Zoomers, just like they still blaming us for stuff. Millennials, they always blame the younger generations. I don't think they ever did put Viscera through a table. I don't think they did put Big Viscera, Big Daddy V through a table. That'd have been crazy. And yeah, I keep seeing this monster stuff where they put has anybody had the white can of Monster? Is it really that good? Because the internet is hyping it up something crazy. Do I play instruments? Technically, I mean, I'm got to speak it into this. I play guitar and I play keyboard. I'm not excellent at either though. No one cared about him in 2000. Talking about retro. Who we talking about? Oh, Grandmaster Sexy. He went to jail for coke. We all knew. He was. I will say this about Grandmaster Sexy. Out of the three and two cool Rikishi and Sky Too Hot, he was the weaker link. Uh, the white monster is fire. Super unhealthy with his fire. Boy, the internet is hyping it up so crazy. I keep seeing these fucking videos where they just like drinking, like, or it's like 1,000 cans of it, or back to back. Yeah, you're not wrong, tremendous TA. Trust no one but yourself and the Most High God. But, those Monster energy drinks, they keep hyping them up, like, man. And I got an issue because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to stop drink energy drinks, but my sleep schedule is so jacked. So my work schedule is I work weekends 8 to 5, and then I work Wednesday through Friday. I don't know why I'm giving you a exact schedule, but you see how wacky it is. Afternoons. So then I have that weird turnaround where Friday evening I get off at like 10:30, and then I gotta be back at work 8:30. And luckily I work from home, but at the same time, I still have to be up to do this. And it is a lot of thinking, and I gotta be aware. And it's like, man, I can't do this without like copious amounts of caffeine. I need a lot of caffeine to just function and just to get up. And it's killing me because I don't want to drink so much caffeine because it's not good for you. Uh, Stay away from the junks. There's a video I was made step by step. Check it out. Some indica. Jake the Snake is still alive. Yeah, he's another one that you surprised. You keep saying eat more fruit. Hey, Sitchin, appreciate you being here. Oh man, Mountain Dew has been. They used to push before energy drinks got popular. They used to push Mountain Dew on people crazy. They had Mountain Dew Halo promotions. And you talking about Overwatch and Goonery. Hey, Sitchin, I'm glad you're here. Appreciate you being here. AJ Ray going. AJ was still going. That's crazy. I saw him. Cause I was watching the Canelo fight, and I saw that he was it was a Circle of Jerks was going, but that was Swiss potassium bananas. I try to eat smoothies. I got I make smoothies and stuff with bananas and stuff like that. 8 hours, wow. Yeah, I didn't know they were still going. I had stopped. I didn't stream. I didn't do a video. I didn't do no content on Canelo and Crawford. I just watched the fight. Got done about midnight or whatever it is. Um, Started to kind of have an existential crisis about ready to release shit on Spotify. I gotta fit, and then just a crisis about how much I should have finished up at least the first EP. It should be out, and y'all should have videos and shit. And I just been procrastinating out of like fear and phobia, and I gotta get over it. Uh, didn't know how to fight wet. Oh man, it was a pretty good fight. Crawford was pretty dominant. Not that I mean, there was a lot of blows, and there was there was a couple of firefights throughout, but Crawford was pretty dominant. AJ, yeah, AJ was going to raise. Appreciate. Also, the Liver King. Well, you know what? We was talking about steroids and wrestling. There's a new era, and there's a lot of people, and it's not just the Liver King. There are a lot of people on this. We saw that one guy who had that weird daily routine with all the ice and all that stuff. There's a lot of people who are who hop on those steroids, hopping in front of they phone and try to sell people fitness help and health advice, and they neglect the fact that they're on steroids. And there's a lot of money to be made on it. And Liver King is one of those guys. Just like I can't think of the other guy. I think his name Ashton Hall. There's a few of these guys and gals. And then the gal may hop on zip it, maybe hop on some milder steroids. Hey Dipsy, appreciate you being here. So that's we were just talking about influencers and that people worship influencers instead of the God, right? There's a new and we talk about health, right? So as we got a lot of people who unfortunately not as healthy as we would like, myself included. Physical health is failing. There's other people who make that investment to other supplies in order to get their health in order. Which are they getting their health in order truly? Are they really in good fitness shape? Honestly, no. But I remember making a video way back that Sam Sulek is just as unhealthy as a fat influencer or a body positive influencer because of all the substances he's eating. Now he seemed to have calmed down, but I mean he was doing, who knows how much steroids he's doing. Plus he's eating like Cadillac combos and drinking a gallon of chocolate milk, and it's like, oh well, he lifts weights and he looks incredible, so it doesn't matter. But it's like, man, I don't think he's good. I don't think his heart's good. I don't think his organs are good. So yeah, a liver, and I think everything I'm saying is the same with Liver King. And I know he was selling all this, but it's a hustle. If you can present a good physique and sell people a dream, sell people exercise programs, sell people food plans, it's a lot of money in it for you. It's a lot of money in it for you. So that's my thoughts on Liver King. He's just part of that new generation of hustling the people out their money because he's on steroids. And shout out to Oreo, lost 70 pounds in 3 months just removing carbs from his diet. Nothing but high protein, then mostly meat, cheese, pickles, and green veggies. Congrats. Everybody will see rather than not somebody's taking steroids was thinking, oh, I mean, you see what happened with the Rock. He recently hopped off the steroids, it looks like. But I mean, good for him. I mean, he's in his 50s. He can't keep doing that shit. Triple H almost died doing that shit. Yeah, he wasn't even on no heavy dose anymore. 30 pounds in 3 months just by sweating. Really? And yeah, I'm sick of everybody trying to sell me something. Sweat as much as possible, as long as possible, as often as possible. You know what, man? My brother had made himself personal, like he he took like a grow room that you can get off Amazon for grow weed, and he made it into a sauna. Well, all it is a grow room and one light, but it get hot in that bitch. And he made it into like and I've been telling myself I'm gonna do the same thing, and I haven't, but I should. And yeah, Crawford did dominate. Basically, yeah, grow tent. It's just like a grow tent. It's just but it has that reflective stuff inside of it, and you just put like one hot ass light. Yeah, a lot of people do hold it in a lot of water weight. And people will say, "Oh, when you lose a lot of, that's just water weight," but it still counts. And a lot of people are retaining too much water. Yeah, and it holds heat well, and it's sweat a lot. Uh, just use your brain while playing UFC on your Xbox. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I've been getting back consistent with the gym. I went to the gym past couple days. Took a break today. We'll be back at the gym tomorrow. Um, so yeah, there's that. But I gotta eat consistent. Sometimes some days I do okay. Some days I do okay. Some days I don't. I'm making an effort to cook more at home. If I cook more at home, that'll solve half the problem. Cooking more at home and eating more fruit instead of snacks, and then I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna get this damn weight off me. Um, and some of it, I'm starting to lose a little. Well, I'm not. I'm scared to go on the scale, but uh, but yeah, a lot of people are holding on water weight. I say that I probably will get on the scale pretty soon, just to get a metric of what to do to lose. And one thing I want to do is get back playing basketball. I've seen some bigger dudes play basketball, so I'm not, it ain't like I'm about to. I ain't exactly Westbrook over here. I ain't about to hoop that hard, but that's just a good way of. Oh, yep, Hall did get roasted by Speed. Yeah, Ashton Hall. He was one of those guys. Uh, yeah, you're right. Meat, eggs, fish, veggies, fruit, water, coffee, tea. Tea is something I can get back into that I haven't. I got a damn tea kettle and a bunch of tea. And I used to drink a lot of tea when I lost weight back in the not that I'm old enough to say back in the tens. First time I had lost a lot of weight. tea was good because tea just kind of helps. It kind of fills you up. I get it's just really hot water and some like flavoring, whether it's green tea or chamomile, whatever. But it was surprisingly, the one thing is you gotta drink a bunch to get any caffeine from it. So actually, it has caffeine, but like to really feel it, you need to drink like five or some bitches. Hey, I'm glad that we get this AJ rate. Crazy, you thought you'd never be under 240, besides when you were 16. Damn, I got under, I got to like 230. And every now and again, I come across a picture of me when I was skinnier. Hey, I appreciate the AJ rate. Feel free to sub, by the way. We got to get back over it. I don't know how I'm gonna get over 900. I see AJ's over 1,000. Congrats to him. Shout out to y'all, that he rated me. Shit. And any of y'all enjoyed. So please like, share, please sub. You got the fuse types, fair enough. I can drink those. I gotta drink more tea. I'm drinking decent amount of water. I gotta stop drinking fucking sugar water. And I say sugar water, it can be pop, it can be juice, it can be the Arizona iced teas, but I'm always drinking something sweet and I gotta stop. I'll sub when you do a face reveal. I said I'd do a face reveal if I hit 100K, which I don't think I'll ever hit. Oh, speaking of shit, one thing I'll do if I ever hit 10K, I'll do a spicy. I'll eat ghost pepper wings or some a spicy challenge of some sort, and I'll do that for 10K anytime I hit 10K or any platform. Hell, I'll do that anytime I hit a 10K mark on any platform. So, like, okay, who knows how long I'm gonna keep doing this? I've already done this for 5 years. It looks like I'm gonna keep doing it. But if I ever grow or I get 10K on Instagram, I'll do it. And then if the next day I get 10K on YouTube, then I'll do another one. And if I get 20K, I'll do another one. I swear I would. So stop sugar water maybe a couple times a year. We eat McDonald's, fair enough. But a face reveal, I'm not a big tuna fan. Get light roast coffee, the lighter the roast, the higher the caffeine content. I know that. Uh, yeah, I've been on YouTube 5 years. I started in 2020, and ups and downs. And I probably got over 1,000 videos, 1,000 videos and streams. It's just it's hard to grow this platform. If I would not recommend, well, but I don't want to use my experience because I've seen people who have started after me who have grown way more than me. A lot of people have. So, but I wouldn't recommend YouTube for growth. But you know what? Unless you're going to pay some money as far as ads. Now, if you're going to pay some ad money, then go ahead. Yeah, my old fart. Most part of losing weight is being consistent. You keep changing your tactics, your body will get confused. Start the whole on food store sales. Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't realize that's the thing. Your body hold on to food. Or hold on to weight. Even outside of I'm not saying calories in, calories out doesn't work. Long term it does. But you will have stretches of plateaus because your body holding on to weight. That is a thing. That's a real dynamic. That's not just and I think that's why a lot of people, and I myself included, those plateaus are the worst because you will really be, you know, restricting yourself and really be pushing cardio wise and physical activity wise. You really push yourself and you're going through a plateau and your body is just not giving up the weight. You just grinding through those can be tough. When you made your personal playlist of YouTube music, didn't know it was public. After 1 or 2 years, you got 10K views. Jeez. Congrats. Congrats, though. Since you need to do a playlist. You're pretty good with the music. You put a playlist out. You should put a Spotify playlist. Which, man, I've been debating on whether not to put shit on Spotify. Beard meets food. Use calorie count. He's absolutely shredded. Finish watching the terrible trio. What's that? And hey, Tom, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here. Um, that's another issue. I switched my content, and that's probably the biggest issue. I started off, you know, complaining about woke stuff, complaining about politics, and now I really don't want to talk about politics at all. Like, though I sometimes do. I yeah, I've switched so much, so I got to take my share of the blame for not growing. I stream on Twitch almost all the time because I stream to YouTube right now. I'm streaming from my phone, so I can't. But when I play video games, I stream to Twitch. So just the other day, I was streaming playing Tekken on Twitch and Kick and YouTube at the same time. Oh, I do remember that terrible trio. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The rich guys in the mask. Link up your other channels. Yeah, you can. See, that's another thing. I had the sports channel, and I kind of stopped it based upon the principle that if all that growth would have happened on this main channel, I would already have been over the 1,000 mark. But that's not quite how YouTube sees things. Like, I don't even know what they consider my channel right now. I think they consider it a video game channel because of all the streaming. So I mean, but I say that the past few weeks I made a bunch of football content. Some of it did okay. Some of it did. If I did more shorts, I think that's really where shorts is really what YouTube pushes the most. That's what it seems like. So yeah, I'm on Twitch, and then you can have me on Instagram if you want to. You posted, made you watch Nepo Babies. It was stupid. Yeah, that was an episode about Nepo Babies. Now that you think about it, which I guess you could argue Bruce could be a Nepo baby, but he made something some more. So yeah, but yeah, I appreciate that, Dipsy. And then yeah, but no, I play Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon guy. Pokemon TCG Pocket. I haven't played. I used to, back because I'm old enough to remember when they released for the original Game Boys, or Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. So I have played Pokemon. You do streams yourself, quite relaxing. That's what's up. So yeah, I don't usually do these streams. Sometimes I'll do a phone stream. And I just found out because I used to do where I would do a stream and just be in the dark. I didn't realize you could just turn the camera off and do that. But yeah, if I ever got to 10,000, I would definitely do a one chip challenge or a hot wing challenge or something crazy if I could ever get to 10K. And another thing is, I make music to add to everything. I make music, and I'm trying to release I ain't trying to. I'm releasing a project over the next month or so. Uh, Fart in your eyes. Whoa, dark. So I'm releasing music. Like, I have a Vigilante Williamson music channel, and I need to resurrect that channel. Um, Smarty, I got you. Whoa. So yeah, thanks, Dempsey. So, that's all the content. You can find me it's since dinner just got rid. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Fart in your eyes, man. You gotta go. Usually I'm saying, oh, let people know, man. No, this ain't that kind of party. And I know motherfuckers should be hopping on stream saying whatever. That's a gimmick, but nah, brother. Zesty stuff. Yeah, man, zesty festers or whatever. That's what. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, you gotta get timed out. Yeah, man. I mean, you can still stick around, but after the timeout. But yeah, you gotta mushroom burgers, Saturn burger. I'm not really big on mushrooms on things, and I keep seeing that like all this research into mushrooms, and they're trying to use mushrooms like in coffee and all this other healthy stuff, and all it's supposed to be so healthy. Which I don't know about all that, but it just in general, I'm not a big mushroom. Yeah, the gold shit gotta go. I'm gonna fart on your eyes. What the fuck? Yo, the gold culture has to go, man. People are getting deprived out here, man. Super deprived. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's mushroom coffee. Yeah, there's all sorts of like mushroom, but they're like using like borderline like psychedelic, not psychedelic quite, but like all these different other types of mushrooms that are legal, but it's just I don't know. But yeah, goatery is getting crazy. You can lay down, listen to scripture. There you go. Sub to your stream. Hope to see you again. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, brother. Someone had you mushroom coffee and throw that on. Yeah, salute to Oreo. Cool brother to show up. It's always cool. That's the one thing with these vertical streams. More people who don't usually show up will show up. Yeah, I'm not. You're a mushroom guy. Yeah, there's a mushroom coffee and or mushrooms and like they got these like these what are they? What am I talking about? If anyone's ever seen athletic greens, they have different products that are similar to that, and they'll talk about we put mushrooms. But athletic greens is just this like powder, which apparently you do research on. It's basically a shitty multivitamin, but they hyped it up. Joe Rogan and all those motherfuckers hyped it up. But they got different products in that same class. And sometimes, we had mushrooms and all this other stuff. Just basically these powdered multivitamin. Feel about factor. Is that another one of those same things? I don't think I know. If that is, I think I've heard of it, but I don't know really enough about it. Because they got, these different like products. Or is that one of the like food prep products? Yeah, they put it started with that they started putting butter in coffee. That bulletproof coffee, I think it had butter in it. And then they should start tossing all sorts of crazy shit. And I keep seeing, I was talking about those white monster posts. I also see the posts where they show those fucking Starbucks. I don't even know you could call that coffee. That's just, cake, liquid cake. Is it far from creamer? Yeah. But I mean that, the Starbucks where they put all the sugar and all the chocolate and cake, that's liquid cake. That's not even coffee, man. It's liquid cake. And it's like, boy, I got my own vices and own things. I'm glad I know. I'm glad I ain't fucking with that shit. It's like 1,500 calories. Only God knows how much sugar. Starbucks vanilla bullshit thing. Yeah, I never got too big into the Starbucks drinks. Back in the days when I was still in Michigan, even though they got Tim Hortons out here, this one not too far from me now. But I used to live next to Tim Hortons. They used to have this shit called iced hot chocolate. I did used to get those. Yeah, mocha macchiato, rainbow pumpkin spice. I mean, I don't know what they're putting in these things, but I don't think they should be putting these things in. I don't think people like. I don't think these bitches should be legal type shit. Like I don't know. It is pure sugar. It's liquid cake, and they shouldn't call it coffee. I thought there were laws about what you could call things, right? Like you just can't call any old alcohol vodka or whiskey. There's a law about it. There's just trademarks. That's not coffee. Yeah, it's chocolate milk. More than it's closer to chocolate milk than coffee. The one I like has some kind of crunch powder. I don't know what it's called. And I'm not knocking you like the Starbucks said vanilla bullshit thing. Like I'm sure sure some of it's good, but like good tasting. But seeing how they're made, it's just like, oh my god, I'm good. You know what's better than cake? Cake. If you know, you know. Shout out to Kate. Get one every few months, 6 months. Fair enough. No judgment. We listen and we don't judge. Nah, we do judge. No, I ain't judging you over no fucking things. I actually sometimes I do show myself on camera. Tremendous to you. Well, sorta. Because the gimmick is I'm wearing masks. So I'll be masked on camera. Uh and honestly, I'm definitely not stopping that gimmick no time soon because I like keeping my job. So I like the idea of being able to express myself without risking my job. But I do have content where I'm on camera. Uh If you check my shorts out, you can see the mask, which is just this logo, the same as this logo, but it's made into a mask. Uh, so yeah. I could even. I'm kind of lazy, but I could go put it on real quick to show you what I mean. Corporals pay to get those laws changed. Really, they did it in Germany because American beer wasn't considered beer by their laws. Wow, so they lobbied to change the law so they could sell that piss. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what I was saying though. But like you said, there are laws to what it is. Like you can't just call something. That's why they, certain things even here you gotta call it malt liquor. It's not beer, or vodka like drink or something. It's not vodka. There are rules and regulations for what you can call something. But you're right. They get these laws changed. Like I don't think those things should be called coffee. Same thing they try. Oh, yep. American bread in the UK is classified as cake. As it should be because of all the damn additives. It is cake. We don't even get bread. We just get different forms of cake. Yep, you're 100% right, Dipsy. Show yourself to the mirror. He's a very consistent spectator. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, if I wasn't so tired, I'd probably I would at least be in the mask. But I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what to do. And then I happened to doom scroll and see that somebody else that you can stream just with the logo. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do that. Just stream with the logo and see what shows up. So hopefully a few people have liked and subbed, and hopefully they stay subbed. I mean, we talk about whatever. I gotta, I don't know. Sometimes one thing I want to do is more videos in the mask, actually, just to do quick videos on my phone to get a release, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's 4 a.m. It's super late. It's like probably 5 or 6 now. It's 4 a.m. when I started. But I just, don't have any, I don't know. So since I didn't, I even though I'm kind of done with the story and don't really want to resurrect it. 7:15, so it's probably 6:15 here because I think you're an hour ahead of me. Wife is already up for work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to work in a little bit if I can do it time. High as fuck. It's 1 p.m. here. That's what's up. But even though the story, I'm done with the story. What's your thoughts on the? It's been a big story this week. The passing of Charlie Kirk. Did you see that? What are your thoughts on it? Because I despite all jokes aside, I do respect your opinion. You have a pretty level-headed opinion. So, yeah, Jobs. Oh, the worst. The worst. The worst thing. We're gonna be working till we die. Unfortunately, even though my dream is to retire. That's my dream. That's my dream. But what are your thoughts on that whole situation? Mad as fuck the day you found out, couldn't shake it. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of done with the story. But I do feel for him passing his family. It's just especially like I said, he's I've been doing talking shit on the internet for 5 years. Essentially that's what he did. He talked shit on the internet. Yeah, I was never a big fan of either. And I didn't really know. I knew of him, but didn't know what his content was. And yeah, that's the thing that gets me though, Dipsy. All he does is talk stuff on the internet. That's why you weren't here. I said I don't want to make jokes about Israel anymore. No more joking about Israel. Because that's what I think happened, by the way. I don't know how they're going to spin it. I still don't really see that much content on the shooter. They're never going to shoot us because we're nobody's quote unquote. But what if your channel did blow up one day? What if something did go viral? You know what I mean? That's damn, that's what y'all killing people over? So yeah, we're no more joking over Israel. No more joking over no coincidence crew, nothing. I'm just leaving these motherfuckers alone. That's what they say, but that was. And here's another thing that's been a debatable topic of. Granted, I'm not a shooter. You're not a nobody. You're somebody. Says the Amazing Spider-Man. Says Mushroom Guy. I guess they're trying to say it's different. It's a It's type of Reddit dude. I played the clip of Charlie talking to Ben about Israel a few days before. I'm not listen. I don't know that had well, though that is my theory. It's just a theory. I'm just a dude on the internet like everybody else. Uh, the only thing I know for sure is he got killed for things that he said on the internet. That's the only thing I know for sure. Who did it and why? Rather it's the guy that father gave him up because the FBI is too incompetent to find him. Or it's one of the many conspiracy theories that's tossed around the internet. That's for you to decide as the individual. But the undeniable, forget the thing that is for certain is that he died for just talking shit on the internet. That's the part as a dude who talks shit on the internet that does scare me, and that's where I feel like I am glad I have a mask gimmick. I'm glad I don't show my face. I'm glad and somebody say, oh, you're not putting yourself to your peers. It's not worth it. It's not worth my life. It's not worth my quality of life. Being more difficult to find a job. It's not really worth it. And as you said, Sid, he was pretty milk toast. He wasn't, this wasn't some guy this wasn't Nick Fuentes, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the guy is, Nate Fuentes, whatever his name is. Uh, oh, he got 12 years in prison. I didn't know that. He got 12 years in prison, Liver King. See, when you said I just thought you were the Liver King as a thing. But yeah, it was a white kid from Utah, Mormon. Dad was a Republican. His dad turned him in. We didn't recognize some of the pictures. Oh man, so he'd rather innocent to go to prison. Wow, I didn't see all that. But I didn't see Liver King got 12 years. He threatened to kill Joe Rogan? What? I can see for embezzlement. But sorry about that stuff on sinuses. He threatened to kill 12 years. It's crazy. I don't know for what. I didn't see that. He ain't got all the time. And unfortunately, I can't Google his stream. But damn, I didn't know he got 12 years in prison. So I don't know what he did. I mean, if he did it, he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't, he don't. But he went to Joe Rogan's house with a rifle. Wow. See, I don't be keeping up with everything. I didn't see that shit. Wow. That's crazy. I know he really wanted to be on Joe Rogan's show. He went to his house with a rifle. Wow. Well, yeah, he deserved to go in jail, crazy motherfucker. 420. Oh, he was on the show? I thought that was the gimmick, is that he wanted to get on the show, but he never allowed him on. But maybe he was, I know Rogan, obviously, but I'm not a, Rogan fan. I remember at one point he didn't want him on. I don't know if maybe he had already had him on before that or after. I couldn't tell you. I just remember at one point he didn't want him on. But that's crazy. He went to his house with a rifle. That's bananas, man. That's fucking bananas. Wow. Wow. See, this is getting crazy, man. It's just talking shit on the internet, bro. No matter what it is. We're just talking shit on the internet. Nobody deserves to have their life threatened for talking shit on the internet. I think he was about 3 years ago, maybe. Yeah. He got arrested, terrorist threats. Did explicitly say he's going to kill him. I don't think Joe ever said anything about it. I see. I remember a few years ago, he wanted to come on Rogan, and Rogan said no to him. And then after it broke, he kind of got no. Okay, he's doing which I don't know how it was obvious that he was doing steroids, but once that came out, I remember him talking to somebody like, yeah, he kept trying to come on the show, he kept having his assistant contact me, and I just didn't want him on the show because I just didn't think he'll wreck them. Oh, Rogan can, he kicks somebody, he'll kill him. You see that? If anybody ever seen Rogan does that, he has like this back kick because he was a Taekwondo guy. I mean, that's how he got into MMA. I mean, he's a short dude, but he's explosive enough. And those kicks sound pretty loud. I wouldn't want one of those hitting my ribs or any part of my body. Yeah. Yeah, he probably would fuck him up. But I mean, nobody can box a bullet. He's uh that's crazy. That's crazy, man. People get caught. We're just talking about this parasocial thing, man. People really get caught up in this fucking internet shit, man. They really getting caught up in it. Or we dissed him because he was revealed to be a fraud. He deserved to be dissed because he is a fraud. And it's sad that so many people fall for it. Yeah, he was commentating UFC for a reason. Exactly. Yeah. He was one of the, first early just fans of the concept of MMA. And yeah, he's trained more than just I mean, he said Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, wrestling, black belts, Taekwondo. Yeah, he can really, he's a dangerous dude. I know a lot of people think he might be like a Fed. And it wouldn't shock me. I mean, he's pretty well trained, man. A lot of people think he's a Fed for the shit he's talking about, but like, he's also like uh shit, who was said something about a lot of CIA people in Hollywood? Was it Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck or one of them made a reference to them. Plus, he got a lot of guns. Yeah, he's a gun dude on top of everything, and he's in Texas, which is a stand your ground state. To be honest, I'll say this Liver King about Liver King, Mushroom Guy. He's lucky to be alive because if he was on Joe Rogan's property with a gun, I mean, Joe had the right to kill him. Jiu-Jitsu is scary to go up against. Yeah, Joe would have had the right to kill him, and that would have been nothing you can do. So, okay, I think you need rather judge by 12 to carry by 6. So this was third tree. Sound like a game. It's only a soundtrack of a 2-hour game. Hey, Lucky Fluke, appreciate you being here. Shout out to Visma. Shout out to Turok. Which I heard, were they supposed to remake Turok? Maybe they did. So I have a theory. I think if you have no uh, if you're one dimensional as fighting, you can get fucked up. If you go against somebody who's more well rounded. So if you have BJJ, but you have no stand up, even though you said the street fight is going to go to the ground, but like you the one thing that UFC does with grappling, I'm trying to formulate my theory. What's the best way? UFC slightly inflates how effective grappling is because they don't allow grounded strikes. And there's this viral video of these two guys fighting, and one tries to wrestle. He gets kind of spun off, and then he gets kicked in the head as hard as possible. And it's like, you know what? This is and I'm not saying maybe UFC, me as a dude who just loves violence for violence sake, unfortunately. Loves watching violence. I don't like participating in violence. I'm not a violent man, even though I definitely want to, before I die, train Muay Thai and kickboxing and stuff like that. But all that stuff said, I think sometimes grappling arts feel as if they need no striking. Just like we know there's strikers who feel as if they need no grappling. And that's just not the case. They did remake it for PS5, so I'm not crazy. Thank you, Lucky Fluke. Royce Gracie was a good example. This guy wrecked with his feet constantly. Yeah. And I'm thinking that I think UFC, because they don't allow grounded strikes of it, or you know what I mean, they don't. The disadvantages from grappling aren't exposed as much. When am I going to work? What the hell time is it? It's still I don't have to work until 8:30. But yeah, it is still useful. Yes, it's good to change the discipline. Though I've seen people get choked out too. But another thing is there's no like So even if you think, okay, wrestling's a better art, well, unfortunately, as adults, we don't do wrestling. You know, we do like pro wrestling. You get hit with chairs and shit, but like real wrestling, amateur wrestling, Olympic wrestling, freestyle, or Greco-Roman, nothing. Like you have to, if you go to an MMA gym, you can train that, but I don't know how you could train wrestling on its own, right? But I mean, honestly, you know, don't get into a street fight. The most useful thing is try to talk your way out of it, walk your way out of it, run your way out of it. But yeah, wrestling, I mean, yeah, it is pretty brutal. But there's no way to like just train it unless you're in these programs, right? Unless you've been a world class NCAA guy and training for the Olympics specifically. There's no hobbyistic way to get into wrestling, right? There's no hobbyistic way to do it. You could be a hobbyist Muay Thai guy or MMA in general, or BJJ or a lot of other stuff, but there's no uh yeah, I'm going to Greco-Roman wrestling class. Like that's not a thing. At least not in America. So it's not, you can't get those skills unless you already was doing it in high school, doing it in college, and went to a high level. There's really no way to get that type of training. Uh, or I mean, I guess you can always do what they say. Sit in the Dagestan 2 3 years, let them forget. Yeah, Dan Severn. Speaking of old wrestlers, I remember Dan Severn. Uh, but yeah, sit in the Dagestan 2 3 years, forget. then they'll become a wrestler. But you know what? It's been an hour and a half of me talking and Greco Roman. I do what you meant. I'm starting to fade. I don't even know how the hell I was able to get this stream done outside of my insomnia. So I'll try to come back with a video game stream. I appreciate everybody watching my channel. Uh, Still don't know what the hell this channel is. 5 years into this shit, still don't know what it is. But hey, Mushroom Guy, appreciate you being here. Even if you don't sub, hopefully you stick around. I'm trying to reestablish doing Sunday night streams again. So at least that one time a week, for sure, I do a stream. So we'll probably be streaming sometime tonight. And all that. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged, share, subscribe. Please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night. God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.